Did this new moon make you feel like something might have quietly died in your life? Almost as if you're mourning or grieving a former version of yourself? Yeah. Welcome to the post-new moon in Aries energy. So we've had a crazy hell week, as I like to coin it, where every single placement was in Aries. And yeah, Aries is about beginnings, but every beginning costs something. My name is Vix, and I talk about astrology, tarot, and shadow work for anyone who is new here. And really, for the next few days, it's really interesting for you to start notice a few patterns coming up in your life. So whereas at the beginning of this week, you probably felt really excited or there was momentum, you probably also had fits of anger and a little bit of weird rage that was bottling up. And now we are at the decompressing phase of that. And so you're going to be tapping into a lot of more heavy emotions for the next few days, because you're finally going to tap into the emotional reality of I cannot be who I was and go where I want to go at the same time. I've been pulling the death card over and over again today for clients, and that's really the energy of what we're going through. And the reason for that is Chiron, because this new moon was tightly conjunct with Chiron in Aries. So this is unfortunately really big for wounds about self-identity, self-worth and rejection, and the right to exist as yourself. So yeah, you may be missing an old life, but this one's more about the pain that's associated with how long you stayed in that former life, if that makes sense. I talk about this in another previous video about this whole point was to shed a former skin, but it's normal to be in that interim point where you're I know something is over, but I don't know who I am yet on the other side. And so if you've been super sad or emotional today, it's your nervous system clearing this out, okay? So you're probably if you were like me, you were probably super angry, bold, or ready to fight everyone for Hell Week, because Aries is about action before feeling things. And now we get to feel it. And so your body goes wait, this is actually over, guys. We're really being asked to admit that who we were to survive is not allowed to come with us in this next chapter. Here, another card for this one, which is the World, which is the world is about to shift for you, but you really have to really embody the entire imagery of the death card, where it's death and rebirth, endings and new beginning, but also accepting the fact that when something ends, you got to go through the entire mourning process and the grief associated with that. And because this one is about the self, it just feels awkward, because we're emotional about a former version of ourselves, but also maybe a little bit of shame, embarrassment, but excited for the future. So, it gets confusing. But grief like this, with a new moon that was this intense, doesn't necessarily mean you want that old life back. Your soul just knows the door really closed.